Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something I think almost every English learner feels at some point. It's that fear that your English sounds, well, a little bit stiff.
A bit robotic, maybe.
Exactly, like it's pulled straight from a textbook. You're trying so hard to be polite, but you just end up sounding kind of distant.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a common trap, this idea of equating politeness with, formality.
Right.
Learners default to these really long, complicated phrases, something like, "Would you kindly assist me with this matter?" But in real life, in most settings, that's not how politeness works.
No, not at all.
True politeness is usually about warmth, about being friendly and natural. It's about being approachable.
Yeah, if you said that to a colleague, they wouldn't think you were being respectful. They'd think you were, I don't know, sending them a legal notice or something.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is to give you a shortcut. We want to synthesize some really specific, usable expressions, language softeners that let you sound polite and respectful, but without losing that friendly, natural vibe.
Maximum warmth, minimum stiffness. That's the goal.
Precisely.
So let's define what we're aiming for. The sources call it friendly politeness.
Okay.
And it's that sweet spot where your language shows respect for the other person, but you still sound relaxed and comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
It's all about managing that social distance.
So close enough to be warm, but, still appropriate.
Exactly. And the difference is huge when you see it in action. Let's take a simple example from the sources. If you need help, the stiff version is, "I require assistance."
Ugh. Yeah. That sounds like a computer program.
It does. Now, compare that to a friendly option. First one, could you help me real quick?
Much better already.
Notice that real quick at the end. That's a key little softener right there. It signals you respect their time.
And the second option?
Do you mind helping me?
Ah. So that one's more about asking permission.
It is. Both are just miles away from "I require assistance." You're moving from making a statement to asking a question.
And we absolutely have to mention the nonverbal part of this, which is so often missed. The sources really stress that your tone of voice is, well, it's everything.
Paramount, yeah. You can say the most perfect words, but if your tone is flat or aggressive, it just fails.
A simple smile or just softening your voice a little bit makes a huge difference. The warmth of the delivery really does all the heavy lifting.
Right. It's the difference between an automated voice and a real person who's actually trying to connect with you.
Okay, so let's transition into the actual mechanics. How do we make these polite but natural requests? The sources kept coming back to this idea of giving the listener a choice.
It's the absolute cornerstone. When you invite someone to do something, rather than order them, you disarm any potential tension right away.
Because they feel like they can say no.
Exactly. They have the psychological space to say no without it becoming a confrontation.
But let me just push back on that for a second. What about in a really high-stakes, urgent work situation? Like, say, a server is down. Doesn't asking, "Could you maybe?" sound a little passive?
That's a really good point. Context is key. If it's a genuine emergency, like the server's on fire, you don't soften it.
Right.
But for, I'd say, 95% of our daily interactions at work or with friends, sending a file, checking a fact-giving choice, actually speeds things up because it builds goodwill instantly.
Okay, so for those everyday rapport-building requests, let's look at the three main structures.
The first, and maybe the most versatile, is just, "Could you?"
The classic.
Yeah, it's the gold standard. It's polite. It's not too formal. It suggests possibility, not a demand. Like, "Could you send that to me?" or "Could you wait a second?" It's safe.
And it's better than "would you," which can sometimes sound a bit stiff.
Precisely. The second one is great for friendly requests. Do you mind?
I like that one.
It explicitly checks in on the other person's comfort. Do you mind helping me with this? Or do you mind if I sit here? You're asking for their permission in a very gentle way.
Yeah, it's very relational. It removes any doubt.
And the third one, which is all about shared agreement, is it okay if?
Okay, so when would you use that?
It's perfect for proposing a change. Like, is it okay if I call you later? Or maybe, is it okay if we move the chairs? The focus is on seeking permission together.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've covered how to ask for things, but what about responding? Sometimes just saying yes or okay can feel a little
abrupt.
Yeah, a little curt, especially over text or email. How do we add warmth when we're agreeing to something?
You want clear, cheerful acceptance. So instead of just yes, which is fine, try something with more energy, like sure or of course.
Simple, but they carry a lot more goodwill.
They do. And if someone seems worried about bothering you, you want to reassure them. That's where no problem or don't worry about it are perfect. They signal that the request was easy for you.
Right. And then there's the big one, responding to thank you. So many people are taught that the only correct answer is you are welcome.
Which can sound so formal.
It's so formal, it creates distance.
It does. It feels like a completed transaction. The friendlier alternatives all emphasize how easy it was to help. So again, no problem is great.
And I think my favorite is anytime.
Anytime is perfect because it's an open invitation. You're saying, I'd be happy to do this again.
It's an investment in the relationship, really.
It is. Or even just glad to help. You're sharing your own positive feeling about helping them. Okay, so now let's get into the real secret weapon of friendly English. The softeners. These little words that act like cushions for our opinions and suggestions.
They're so important. Softeners are all about lowering the risk of confrontation. They frame your opinion as just that, an opinion, not a fact.
So let's start with the most common ones, the ones that minimize things.
Right, using a bit or a little. These are brilliant because they just shrink the size of the request or the problem. So instead of a command like, wait, you ask.
Could you wait a bit?
Exactly. You've just added 2 layers of politeness there, the could you and the a bit. And it totally changes how you say no to something, too. Instead of a hard, I'm busy, you can say, I'm a little busy right now.
And that suggests it's temporary. It leaves the door open for them to come back later.
Okay, what's next?
The power of maybe. This is so crucial for any kind of collaborative planning. Instead of do this, which sounds like a command.
You say, maybe we could try this.
Yes, or maybe later would be better. It turns a command into an idea you can explore together. It invites feedback.
It's all about mutual exploration, not just one person deciding.
And finally, we have to talk about I think.
Ah, yes. The magic phrase.
It is. Just putting I think at the start of a sentence is maybe the easiest way to sound more polite. It turns a potentially confrontational statement into just your personal perspective.
So instead of saying that's the wrong way, which is going to make anyone defensive,
You say, I think it might be easier this way, or I think we should call them first. You're just offering your viewpoint for them to consider. It keeps the dialogue open.
this is where it all gets really practical. Because nothing is trickier in conversation than having to correct someone.
Oh, that's a high-stakes moment. Do it wrong, and you can damage the relationship instantly. The goal is to frame it as a shared process of checking, not as you pointing out their mistake.
So we need to blend these softeners with some gentle introductory phrases. What's the specific phrasing we should aim for?
The best combo is actually plus I think. So, actually, I think it's this one on the schedule.
Okay, actually signals the correction, but I think softens it.
Right, it keeps the tone warm. Or, what if you want to suggest a different method?
How would you do that?
You could lead with a bit of uncertainty. Oh, maybe we should try another way for this part. See how that shifts the focus from their mistake to the method itself.
Yeah, that's really smooth. It protects their dignity.
And for really delicate situations, maybe with a boss or a client, you can use a more tentative correction.
Like,
Something like, I might be wrong here, but I thought the client wanted option B. Or even better, make it collaborative. I'm not 100% sure that's correct, but let's check the source together.
ah, I love that. It immediately changes the dynamic from me versus you to us versus the problem.
Exactly. But it's so important to remember that none of these words will work if your tone is cold.
Right. The warm tone is the foundation for everything.
The words are the architecture, but the genuine warmth is what holds it all up.
So let's bring it all together. Let's do a quick 4-line dialogue to show just how simple and natural this can sound when you put it all together.
Sounds good. I'll start with a request, and I'll use a couple of softeners.
And I'll respond with a friendly acceptance and use a softener myself.
Hey, do you mind helping me with this report a bit? I'm a little stuck on the data section.
Yeah, of course. No problem. I
Yeah.
think I know exactly which data set you need.
That would be great. Thanks. I really appreciate you jumping in.
Anytime. Glad to help out. And just listen to how easy that was. It was fast, efficient, but layered with politeness. There was zero stiffness.
And that's the whole goal. By consciously using these expressions, the requests that give choice, the warm responses, and those key softeners, like a bit and I think, you will immediately sound more natural, more approachable.
And weirdly enough, more fluent.
Absolutely. Much more proficient.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, if friendly politeness is really about giving the other person a choice and keeping a warm, non-demanding tone, just think about this. How can simply adding a bit maybe, or I think, change not just your words, but the entire dynamic of your conversations.
Both at work and in your personal life.
Yeah, it's a tiny investment. These small words cost you nothing, but the goodwill they build is absolutely priceless.
So start practicing that warmth today.
Until the next deep dive, we look forward to exploring more with you.